Okay, this is the free flight loading screen for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We can see that the aircraft we're going to use is an Airbus A320 with CFM engines. Fenix has not quite worked out having the liveries show up. So we're just going to call this a Delta livery and say this is going to be Delta 1949. We're going to be operating around Atlanta, and we're going to go ahead and transfer ourselves over onto runway 8 left. Then we're going to come down here and hit start flight. These two boxes here show that the Fenix aircraft is loaded. Okay, we're going to come down here and wait till it pops up and tells us where it's ready to fly. Okay, ready to fly. Wait for everything to initialize. And we don't want, or I don't want, for this particular discussion or demonstration, I don't want it to be nighttime, so I'm going to go up here and change the time. I'm going to move the time to, let's say, 8:11 in the morning. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take clear skies and I'm going to drop all the way down to 0 visibility. Then I'm going to take the upper cloud layer and not the lower. Take the upper cloud layer and I'm going to move it up here out of the way where I don't have to worry about it. And I'm going to take the lower cloud layer and I'm going to set the upper, which is what we're concerned about, at about 2823. So up above 2823 we will be above the fog layer, if you will. So we'll go ahead and save that. Now what we need to do is we need to come into the electronic flight tablet and we're going to hit Fenix and we're going to tap to import an Atlanta to Atlanta flight plan. What this is going to do is let me be in the air approaching Atlanta, which is what I want to do. And then we're going to go to panel states, and normally I do flights where there's a turnaround with ground power available. But for this particular effort we're going to do, I want to be on the runway with engines ready, so I'm going to go to ready and hit activate, and we should now have the engines running. Now I want to go to mass and balance, and we're going to go up here to planned, and we're going to put in about, I don't know, let's make it 141 passengers, and let's put on some cargo. Let's put on some fuel, and then let's apply and load the aircraft. Want to do it instantaneously, and then we can send those values to the MCDU so that the rest of the programs are going to work. Okay. Now we want to go to the MCDU. I didn't mean to press that. We're going to go to the MCDU, FMGC, init page. Let's go ahead and clear out a couple of. Now we're going to go from KATL Atlanta to KATL Atlanta's Hartsville Jackson. Then, as I said, we're going to be DAL Delta 1949. and then two numbers, which who cares. We're going to go ahead and put the cost index at 5, and we're going to say that if we were actually doing the flight, we would go to flight level 300. Okay. Now I want to go to the flight plan page, and you can see that our destination is Atlanta. So we'll click on the destination, and then we'll come over here to arrival. And we're going to go ILS 08 left. We're going to use the Glavin 1 star with the Tony La Russa transition, and we'll go ahead and insert that into our flight plan. And once we get up in the air, we'll come in back and modify that because that's what we're going to need to do. Okay, now that we're where we're at, let me check something here real quick, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Okay, we're going to bring a program on called FSI Panel now. FSI Panel is a program that allows you to set up the simulator in various ways, such that you can start at different areas, or you can run little different scenarios without having to go through the entire rigmarole, if you will. So let me bring this over where you can see it for a minute, and then we're going to make sure the simulator is communicating with it. And we'll go to this little symbol here, and it's waiting for it to connect, and now it's connected to this program. And now that it's connected, you can see that we're at Hartsville Jackson, the runway 8 left. Now we're going to select the fix, which we've already put into our MCDU. So we're going to select the star, and it's going to be the Glavin 1 star with the Tony La Russa transition, and we want this program to put us at the waypoint LARII. And then we're going to validate to make sure that all works fine. And you can see that what the plane is going to want to be, it's going to be at the star at Glavin 1 transition Russa at the waypoint LARII at 5,000 feet. And so it's time to move this out of the way before I hit move aircraft. Okay, let's get in the pilot seat here. And what we are going to do is hit move aircraft. You can see up in the upper left hand corner it says it's now setting your flaps, speed, and altitude, and it says please stand by. We can look at the upper ECAM and see that the engines are running and all that. All of the information on the bottom half of the lower ECAM, I mean the upper ECAM, is if we were sitting here ready to take off, and all the things that we hadn't done that we should have done prior to taking off. But we're not going to take off. Now it says everything is ready. Set your thrust levers to the climb detent. Want to have some power while we're up there. And now
terrain ahead. Pull up.
We're in the air, and the FSI panel program is going to slowly lower us from like 600 feet now down to 5,000 feet. And it's going to put us on a heading of 165 and with a speed of 200 knots. You can see that we're above the clouds, and so we know that as we make our approach into Atlanta, runway 8 left, that we are going to go into a area of low visibility. So basically what we're going to do is test out the Autoland feature of the Airbus A320. Getting close, we're at 5,000, just about at 5,000 feet, and we're coming down to 200 knots. Okay, now we can just hold your brake for 3 seconds to take control, but we have a couple things that we want to set up before we do that. Okay, we're going to go to the MCDU, and we're going to go direct to, and we're going to go direct to Bazaar, and we'll insert that. Now we're going to have to enter the destination data, so we'll go to the flight tablet, and we'll go to My Flights, and we'll go like this, and then we'll go for the arrival, even though it should be the same. And what we see is that the altimeter is 3016, the temperature is 10, and the wind is at 300 at 7 knots. So we'll come back to the MCDU, and we'll go to the perf page, and we'll go to the next phase, and that's the approach phase, and I've already forgot what it was. I gotta go back now. It was 3016, okay? Okay, 3016, 3016. The temperature, I think, we're going to go back again. It's terrible. The temperature was 10 and the winds were 307. The temperature is 10 degrees centigrade, and it was 300 at 07, and we're going to end that. And since it says set manage speed, so we'll do that just a second. Well, first, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll go back to the pilots, and then we'll go ahead and set manage speed. See the 200. Now we've got the dot. That means we're in manage speed. And go back to the MCDU, and we're going to enter, since we're doing a low visibility approach, we're not going to use the barometer because it's not accurate enough. We're actually going to use a sensor that uses radio waves to bounce it off the ground and back to the plane, giving us a very accurate representation of the height above the ground. Important, since we're not going to be able to see much. But we don't have, and normally you would have a minimum decision height where if you didn't see the runway by that, you'd do a go around. But since we have the possibility of coming all the way down to the runway and not seeing anything, there is no decision height, so we'll put no. Now we'll go back to perf, and we'll activate the approach phase. Again, we'd have done this a long time ago. And now we'll go back to the flight plan, and let's see what else we got to do. We're going to go back to the pilot's view, and we're going to put the LS switches, and it was 3016, so we're going to change this to 3016. I'm changing my side with a EFIS panel that I have, and now I get that error. That warning is because the two don't match. Now I'll change this one over here to 3016. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and we won't arm the approach yet. The autopilot is on 5,000 feet. We're going to go ahead and arm the spoilers down here. Spoilers are armed. Back to the pilot's view, go back to the pilot's view, and again we're just standing here hovering in the air, and we're going to go ahead and fly. So we got to hold our brakes for 3 seconds. Okay. Says you have control, safe landing. Plane has control right now because we are, and I don't know why we have the alarm right now. I don't know why there it is.